This is FYI on your TV, brought to you by Hometown News. I'm Kathy Botham. I have got Amanda Foster with me. You are our new CEO of our Smith Falls Public Library here in Smith Falls. Welcome.
Thanks.
This is your first time here at FYI. When did you start being the CEO of the Smith Falls Library?
So that was on May the 3rd.
May the 3rd. So you've been there for a few months getting settled in. And you've had, since you've been there too, the front of the library looks amazing too. They've done a lot of changes just physically outside of the building.
Yeah, that's not really us, but
No.
yeah, the Daniel Street being closed and they're working on getting all the flowers and stuff in there.
Yeah, but it does look beautiful. Our building always looked beautiful. You know, I've lived here in Smith Falls my whole life, and I always, when I went upstairs to the children's library and you look through those the windows that look down on the main street, I just thought, I just felt so powerful sitting up there. I felt like a queen looking out at the whole town of Smith Falls at that point too. So I love our library. So thank you very much for joining us today. We've been going through a pandemic. Places close and they open, close and open and everything. What does our library look like right now?
So right now we're pretty normal. Our hours are their normal hours. If you're just coming to borrow a book, just come on in. You don't need to make an appointment or anything like that. Computers, there are some, user limits on that. So if you want to guarantee one, make an appointment, but we haven't been that busy. So generally we've been able to accommodate. We do have some seating, so you can come in with your laptop, browse the internet using our Wi-Fi, that kind of thing. Programming is where things are still rather limited. So, like our book club is still online. In-person programs there's a few, but they're pretty limited. So yeah, that's where things are a little different right now.
And like you say, I grew up in Smith Falls. I love being at the library upstairs when I was a child and growing up. And when I had my own daughter, we spent a lot of time there. It's such a wonderful resource for our children. But there's so much going on too, and I'm referring to like the baby and me and the stories and more. And it's an opportunity for other children to be with children, but it's also a great opportunity for parents to be talking to other parents too. It's wonderful up there, yes, for sure. So there's lots going on at the library, especially upstairs in the children's area. It's always been upstairs too, the children's area. So it's a wonderful area to be up in. You've got everything from Legos to play with. But you talk about using the computers downstairs. Not everybody has a computer. In this day and age, people think, oh, everybody's got a computer, but not everybody does. And
No.
You're a wonderful resource for people.
Mm-hmm. And again, some people have their own devices and they don't have the internet, so we do have free Wi-Fi in those cases as well.
That's right. So do you have a lot of students come in?
We get a few people in studying. I mean, I would assume they're students. We don't really ask people, why they're here. So
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just kind of guesswork.
I knew it was always a place to go to when I was going to school, to Chimo and to high school. We always went to the library for resources and everything. This month too, a very important month when it comes to reading, is Dyslexia Awareness Month. That's the month of October. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we're actually promoting that a lot this month. I actually went to a really informative webinar back maybe June, somewhere in there. And anyway, I mean, of course I'd heard of dyslexia, but I didn't realize how common of issue it is. So apparently it can be up to 20% of the population. And we were like, okay, we're not really serving these people. So we applied for a mini grant with the International Dyslexia Association Ontario, and we got that. So that was $500, and we actually spent a bit above that. So we've now got a pretty large collection of decodable readers for children. So they're meant to make things easier for people with dyslexia to learn to read, but they look very normal. So any other kid picking them up would enjoy them too. And they're, I wouldn't say they look stigmatizing. They kind of look the same, but they kind of prepare kids, so they're not like finding the unfamiliar, I guess. So they're just better for that. And we have some checklists for parents to see whether their kids likely have dyslexia, that they can pick that up. So yeah, we're doing a lot with that this month, just because we feel like it's a group we maybe haven't been serving well enough, and we want to rectify that.
That's right. I mean, dyslexia too, it's a condition that can be treated. You can work with it, and you can learn very well once you've been diagnosed with dyslexia.
Yeah.
It's the children that haven't been, children and adults that haven't been, and they give up on reading. They give up on learning because they just don't think they can do it.
Yeah. The other thing I should mention is CELA, which provides materials for people with print disabilities. And generally, everyone assumes it's for people that are blind, and it is. It definitely is for blind people, but any print disability qualifies. So if you have diagnosed dyslexia, especially adults, you can borrow things through them. So they have, a bigger selection of audiobooks, various materials, but they will serve people with dyslexia. It's not just blind people. So we want to, make that people aware of that as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I know people that like the audiobooks when they're going on long trips. They go to the library, they get a bunch of audiobooks, and they listen to them instead of music or other stuff, that sort of thing. So they're great resources. So I'm so glad you're drawing some awareness to dyslexia awareness, because like you say, 20% of people could be.
Yeah, like that's the high estimate. Because it's like most other things, it's on a continuum. So there's some people that are, kind of borderline, and I don't think they've ever pegged down a number, but 20 is the high end. But I mean, other estimates are maybe 10%. But even if it were 5%, that's still a lot of people.
That's right. Can you describe to people what dyslexia is?
For children, it's usually identified when kids aren't learning to read, and there's really no reason for it. So it's how the brain works with seeing the letters, like the whole thing about people with dyslexia, like seeing letters backwards, that apparently is false. But so it's more just how the brain sees and processes, and it's just like, I guess, a different way of learning, and they just need different mechanisms to be able to learn to read. It's just not, it's not like when I don't remember learning to read, and I talked to my mom and she's like, yeah, I don't think we really taught you. I just saw a book and I just started reading. Someone with dyslexia isn't going to do that. They need some more help and specific guidance.
That's right. That's right. And it's usually, I think, around grade 4 too. Like a child with dyslexia could be going along pretty good because there's pictures in books. And then I think it's about the grade 4 level. The pictures are gone.
Yeah, somewhere in there, maybe grade 3, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there. The pictures are gone as well too. So that's usually an age, I think, dyslexia really comes out in some children.
And it's better to catch it earlier, of
Absolutely.
course.
Yeah, you can work with it. You can work with it. So is there anything going on in the library with fall coming up?
Next week is Ontario Public Library Week. So that's, an annual thing. This year, it's, we'll have a few things, but it's not going to probably be real exciting just because, we can't, have a big event in the library. So that does really limit us. But,
Yeah,
you do have our annual library week.
And you do have a horror photo contest coming up for all ages?
Yeah. The other thing, and we're not quite sure when we're going to do it, but we did recently buy a ghost hunting kit. So we're kind of excited about that.
Oh, all sorts of stuff.
And stuff.
All sorts of stuff going on at the library.
Yeah.
And you make it interesting. You have events, you hold these contests for people, but it's such a wonderful resource. It's been there for such a long time. It's a beautiful old building too. One of our historical sites.
Yeah. And we're working on, we've obviously got a limited footprint, but with what we have, trying to declutter it, make it, more user friendly. So, getting lots of new books. So, if you haven't been for a while, come look at our new books. I think there's a lot of people who are still, I don't know, just not in the habit of going anywhere right now. So, we'd like to see more people for sure.
Yes, your doors are open. Your doors are open. So you say you get new books. Is that, I know at least once a year you have a great big sale, the Friends of the Library. Is that you're getting rid of the older books to make room for the new books?
Well, I mean, it's kind of an ongoing process. The Friends did have their book sale in August. So that happened. But I mean, it depends. Some of the books we're getting rid of are just not in great shape. So they're not really saleable. But, Yeah, everything's ongoing. Like you're always getting rid of things, you're always getting new. So it's really an ongoing process.
That's right. Okay. So do you still do the curbside pickup if people aren't comfortable with going in?
Yeah, we will. I mean, we're getting, maybe a handful of people a week. It's not requested a lot, but it's definitely possible.
It was well used when we were going through the
Hmm.
pandemic, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You guys were busy at that back door.
Mhm.